It is February 11th, that much closer to Valentine's Day, like we discussed last podcast. But welcome to the BAB-Cast, where we talk about a few different things going on, badass building, badass business, including some stocks that we're looking at, badass balls, not what you're thinking, that's all sports, and some
Occasionally what
badass
you're thinking.
and some badass booze. Today, you're going to hear a different voice. You're going to see a different person. That's because we have our very first guest, who's a friend and a brother to us, Mr. Ryan Burkett, the owner of Spare Feet. And the applause for him. We'll let Burkett talk about what he does, and he'll also be joining us for the whole podcast to talk about some other things. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't like it, we just need people to like us. So
and throw a charity share.
A charity share, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Dynick, for saying that. So
Sounds like someone you used to date.
Definitely, charity share is a stripper for sure.
Yeah. So you might hear us refer to Burkett as Burkett or Ryan. So they're all the same people. We all just address them how we're feeling at the time. So Burke, if you could give us a little rundown of how you started this business.
We got some ground rules before we start that though, E.
Oh, okay.
I think anybody talking to Burkett should only address him as a square feet storage king. Nothing else.
Okay. I like this already. Square feet.
Never.
Square feet.
Nobody refer to multifamily anything or you're going to get muted for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Don't mention multi. Okay. I'm taking notes.
And let's keep it under 4.5 hours and have fun.
Spare feet.
No, how did you, when do you remember meeting Burke?
Oh man, it had to have been when y'all were working with GL Green.
It was before Kelly was a part of GL Green for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And just going to look at houses, seeing what was being done at the time. And then I remember he had his computer set up, his big old iMac computer, and he was always working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing 2005.
Yeah,
I'd probably say 2005. Yeah, around
after I got out of college for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When I was on board with, because I got on board with the GL Green guys right after I got out of college, pretty much. So it's right.
Yeah, you were with Garland.
2006.
Yeah, you were with Garland for like a day, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna go over here.
You guys sell single wides. These GL Green guys go over here.
Matt, when do you remember? Yours is a little more recent.
Oh, very recent. Yeah. What was cool is I remember we were, it was kind of a what's the word, like serendipitous kind of chain of events where we were courting a potential customer who was in Lubbock, and we kind of used that, we went out, we met with them, and it was pretty wild. And Ryan Burkett here so graciously let us use his office to try to land a deal. And I remember me and Kelly, we drove over there, and it was the coolest thing ever because we pulled up and we get to Burke's office, and I shook his hand. I remember it very vividly, and it's great because like it's cool to see you and be in this environment and have this whole thing happen, because you literally popped the top off a Coors Light and you said, "Nice to meet you, Matt. Welcome to Lubbock, Texas." And you handed me a beer, and we just shot the shit for a while, and we hung out and we had a really, really good time. I think Kelby was there. Kelby Rayburn. Yeah. And it was just awesome. What was cool was just to kind of hit a stride with the group so quickly and just feeling like, oh man, like these are awesome people. And the whole way over there, Kelly was like, "Oh, you're going to love Ryan. You're going to absolutely love him." And he was right. Absolutely. So that was probably 2018, right? Like early 2018 when that happened. And we hung out. We had a great time. We had a really, really great time. So
that was a good weekend.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you remember?
I think my first meeting with Burkett might have been like sort of a a passing moment at the Lee County Fair and Rodeo. I think it was like 2001 or something. And I think maybe Lindsay and I were at the Fair and Rodeo or something.
I think
And
that's
we
right.
and we saw Burkett there.
I would not that. I'm gonna go to the fact checkers on this, but they're shaking their head. Yes, they're going. "We're good with this, it, man. No. They gave me the thumbs up that that's a 98% possible.
Can't make that shit up. The Lee County Fair.
That's hilarious.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
And Kelly,
2001,
you?
2002 or so.
Well, so we're the funny story is Ryan and I are both from Lovington, New Mexico. We're
Raised.
he's just a few years younger than me. I like to tell everyone, just a couple, you know. And you cannot grow up in Lovington no matter what your age difference is and not just encounter people. So Ryan's uncle is a gentleman named Danny Watson, and Danny Watson and my dad, Roy Defort, were really good friends and then really good enemies, depending on how much money was involved and who wasn't getting it. And that's it's 100%. It's hilarious because I know Ryan will be like, "Oh, that's just how Danny." And I'm like, "Dude, that's just how my dad." Like, I've got a funny story that I won't go on the air with it, but I had a conversation with my little brother today, Kelby, and it's one of those "I told you so" stories. So it's a good one, not for on air, but after once we get off, I'll tell all you guys, and it cracks me up. But yeah, I mean, did you graduate in 2000?
2001.
2001. Okay. So, you know, a few years younger than me. I was 98 or 96. I left the junior college at 98. So, you know, five years younger than me, but I remember him driving. When did you get your CDL? Like when you were 16?
Yeah, early.
Damn.
Super early. Yeah, right out of high school. Because Danny owned a big construction company.
Yep.
So instead of working while I was in school, I would go work for him and make $25 an hour just during the summertime, make enough money to buy beer for the rest of the year during school, and I wouldn't have to go get a minimum wage job. So
Right.
yeah, I got it right out of high school.
No,
Nice.
but yeah. So Ryan and my sisters, Whitney and Lindsay, are the same age, and so when my sisters came to school, Ryan, Kelby, Joe Morgan, Chance, and maybe a couple other guys were, you know, Lovis maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just remember when my sisters moved to Cruces and they both moved in with me, the first place everyone came where it was like, do you know you can come over here and party all you want is the trailer house that we had at 410 Diamond that me and Justin Goad lived in for all those years. And it was just like, it was one of those ones where like you'd wake up and you'd walk out in the living room and there'd just be people there and not even asleep, just like up watching TV, and it'd be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" "Oh, not much. Just coming out here to get some water," you know, and it's just that's the way it rolled. So that's how I remember meeting him as one. Like, man, it had to be one of the first days that I remember getting my sister's books, and then right after that, everyone kind of came over to be like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's I don't remember what day it was, but I almost guarantee you it was the day one of buying books for classes.
Yeah.
And
Kelly,
that whole
Kelly,
crew came over.
Can you tell everybody the story? This is one of my favorite Kelly stories about your hookup at the NMSU bookstore. Can you tell that for everybody? It's one of my favorite fucking stories.
Real quick. I'll keep it quick. I'll keep
do it.
short.
It's so good. And I know I'll forget by the next one. It's one of my favorite stories.
So there was this guy we played basketball with.
Yeah,
Brian.
I had that same hookup.
Same hookup.
Man.
So my sisters get here and they're super stressed out about money because, you know, they're like, "Oh my God, books are they've already heard the stories of like, dude, these books are so expensive." And I was like, "Guys, listen, don't worry. I got you." So they're like, "Okay, whatever, Mr. Big Shot." And so we go to the bookstore and I get 4 chemical engineering books, which are all, you know how, dude, they are 180 a pop. 4 books. My sisters, the cool thing is they're both taking similar classes, kind of getting started. So it's not a ton of books, but I think at the end of the day, it's 6 books. And we're sitting there going like, dude, this is like $1,500 of books. And I mean, mine alone was 7. And then with, so we're sitting there and we're going up to the deal and they're like, no one gave us enough money to spend. Yeah, we definitely don't have enough money for this. And I'm like, no, trust me. And so you stand in line and you're trying to time it to get to Brian's register. You're just like, okay, hold on. And pops up and he goes over there and he starts just running the book over the little take the alarm thing off. And I still have the book somewhere I have the book. I just got one book that he was then going to ring it, and it was Waiting for Godot, a paperback. And he rings the deal, and then he doesn't even say the price. He just turns it around, and my sisters nearly shit their pants. And it said $7.99. And so I gave him my card and he fucking processed it. I should have paid cash. No trail. But $7.99. I paid it. And my sister, like their eyes you could tell they were just like, oh my God, they got so nervous. So he gave us the bags and I walked out, and when Whitney walked out, the alarm went off. And I thought she was going to just start running. But Brian just hauled ass over there real quick and he's like, oh, hold on. Boom. Okay. No, you're good. And $1,500 of books for $7.99 later. My sisters were like, you've done well for yourself here. You've done well.
See, that's where I messed up, is I didn't have a cheap book so I think I paid like $50 though for all of mine, which is still a steal.
Yeah.
I'm mad that you never introduced me to this guy. Where we at on that?
The first year my sisters were there was the last. Then he ended. That was his last year working at the bookstore. We were old, man. We needed to move on.
He's in jail now. That's when he went to jail.
Yeah,
he's retired. Is what he is. Because he made good friends. People owe him. Like if he showed up tomorrow, he's like, hey, I need a place to stay tomorrow night. I'd be like, well,
he's a made man.
He's 100% made man. Oh, well, Ryan, why don't you tell us about finishing up at NMSU and GL Green? And I just remember when you're like, man, I'm going to Lubbock and I got an idea, and walk us through. It's such an interesting story, man.
Yeah, you were the first, Kelly, before I get off on the actual the roadmap that I went on. But I mean, you were the first one to know. I remember calling you and telling you, like, I'm gonna make this leap. Like, I'm no longer gonna do this. I'm not gonna work for anybody again ever that can tell me what to do. Pretty much, I had been promised, something that wasn't given to me, and that was the breaking point. I didn't have necessarily everything lined up to what I was gonna do. I knew where I was gonna get eventually, but I didn't have anything planned. But that was the breaking point when I called Kelly that day, because Kelly and I were working together for the same company. And I was like, I was promised this, and I did my part, and I'm not getting what I was promised. So I'm no longer gonna work here anymore. So that kind of jumped off right then, and then went and told Jennifer, my wife, that I'm no longer employed. Like I don't have a job anymore. But she immediately was there for support, because she knew that there was never long-term goal to work for somebody forever by any means. So
was she still teaching?
She was. Yeah, she was a school teacher. Yep, for sure. Yep, she was still teaching there.
I remember having that. You kind of talked to me too about it. Not necessarily after you had already done it, but I remember you having that conversation in your little home office. Like, if this doesn't work, I'm going out on my own.
Absolutely. There was no other backup plan. It was, if I don't get ownership in this, then I'm gonna go just make my own ownership in my own company. So when I didn't get that, I called Kelly immediately. Then I met with the owners of GL Green the next day, I believe, and I was like, I'm done. No offense, and I'm still great friends with all of those guys. I mean, Greg Green was a huge mentor to me, that I still attribute a lot of my success to what Greg taught me. I mean, that guy would take me into meetings once a week with bankers in Las Cruces, asking for these big loans, so he instilled that confidence in me, because he is a co-pilot for 4 years. So he really taught me a lot with what I do now. So
you made the right move though, Burke.
Oh, no
Yeah.
question. Yeah, I would say so.
We hate to tell you, but it just doesn't look like it worked out.
Yeah, I you might need to rethink what you got going on, man.
Yeah, so I'll back up though. I just wanted to tie that to Kelly because Kelly was literally because we were working together and I called him that day and said, no more, I'm no longer your coworker. So but yeah, first and foremost, it's really excited to be here. It's an absolute honor to be the first guest on your podcast. That's something that means a lot to me. All of you guys are like brothers to me. I enjoyed listening to the stories and kind of reflecting back on where my relationship with each one of you started. But you guys are all brothers, so couldn't be more excited to be here. So thank you for especially to be the first guest. That means a lot to me. Now as far as the question goes, as far as what I do, where I started, I'll run through it pretty quickly here. But self-storage is what I do. That's my main business for sure. I think I have nine companies tied to self-storage, and everybody's rocking the Spare Feet, the Spare Feet brand. Thank you guys for the representing there. So yeah, self-storage though. My grandfather, very entrepreneur-like, in Lovington, where Kelly and I grew up, had a little row of them. I think he had, I don't know what there was, 30 or 40 storages total. You see them in a lot of these smaller towns around New Mexico or Texas. But I spent a lot of time there with my grandparents growing up, and I would be with my grandmother all day, and yet she would go to the mailbox throughout the day and get envelopes and come back into the house and open it, and there would be cash in there. And I was literally 7 years old. I'm like, who's sending you cash? Like, why, what are you doing here? I know you didn't work for that. You didn't do anything. You're hanging out with me. I've been with you all week. You didn't. So she just at a very early age, she explained just the concept of self-storage, that my grandfather had built this row of storages, and that people put their stuff in there and they pay them for that. And so that was just such a fascinating concept to me at an early age, that she didn't necessarily have to do too much, but you made money. And that just stuck with me. And I knew that I was always going to do that on a much larger scale than having 20 or 40 of them or whatever was there. But that was always with me. So high school, I knew that I was going to go into self-storage. College, I knew that I was going into self-storage. Even after college, going in and getting a real estate license, selling real estate, building homes with Geo Green. It was always working towards being a self-storage developer and going out on my own eventually and doing self-storage. So as the story now catches up more with breaking off from Geo Green, I had just expanded Geo Green into Lee County, where Kelly and I are from. And once again, I had been promised ownership of the company, or not necessarily of the overall company, but of the expansion part. So I was already over there doing the expansion when I quit. So I was in Lee County. So that at that point it was, okay, now it's go time to build self-storage. Like that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to build homes anymore. So that I knew that couldn't just happen overnight. So I had my real estate license. So, okay, well, I'm going to sell a lot of real estate, but in the evening times when I'm not selling real estate, I'm going to start building my self-storage portfolio out. So did exactly that. I mean, I became a top 5 probably broker in Lee County within a year selling. I sold a ton of real estate, plenty to support my family and to kick off cash into the venture of building my first self-storage there in Lovington.
You got your name on the company, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. The real estate company. Yeah, I did so well that they turned it into was Bobby Shaw Realty, and it turned into Burkett Shaw Realty pretty fast within
Wow,
half
that's
a
cool.
year.
That's dope. So your first self-storage was in your hometown.
Yeah, for sure. And that wasn't necessarily by design. It was more I was there expanding Geo Green into the area. And I quit. I said, okay, well, where am I going to do self-storage now? So just happened to that's where I was at. So did that. And then like Kelly said, took over ownership of one of the biggest real estate brokerages in Lee County for sure at the time. Took ownership of that, became the top salesman there. Like I said, made plenty of money to feed the family and throw gasoline on this new business venture I was going to do. So built the first Spare Feet in Lovington. And then
what year was that?
oh gosh, Nick, that was probably four years ago. So 2020, so 2017, probably 2017, 2016. And then, immediately though, kicked that model, everything I learned at building that first site into went and built 4 more in Texas within probably 2 years of building that first one. So built 4 more right out of the, went in.
Hey, Matt, can you pull up his website?
Yeah, you bet. I'm on it.
That'd
You
be
got a good idea.
Because it's not just your average like
Yeah, no,
storage. It's
top of the line.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I used a lot of that that knowledge of working for Geo Green in my design, my office especially, but then also just the attention to detail everywhere is from my upbringing of building custom homes in Las Cruces, no question. So
your first project in Lovington had you got some pretty crappy neighbors over there that were so worried, man.
Yeah, there's a Lovington, New Mexico. Now I've built 8 of these now in Lovington, New Mexico. My first one was by far the hardest. Yeah, so you see a lot of the details that you'll see in, custom homes, little snack bar area, complimentary drinks and snacks. So one thing that I do in all of my sites is I do massive TVs. I have 6 70-inch TVs right when you walk in the door, so people know that I'm gonna, that our site's gonna take good care of their stuff. Little retail area and all of them. Sell a locks and boxes. So once again,
that's Lovington right there.
See a lot of that Las Cruces flavor, Geo Green flavor.
Absolutely.
The grid pattern in the beams, aldered or the knotty pine doors, the rustic Tuscany cabinet, just the stuff, herringbone wood tile, dude. Did who came over and faux painted for you?
Jason does. Jason comes over here, so I see Jason a couple of times a year.
He'll even go to he goes wherever you do it.
Oh, every time I put him up.
That's cool.
I put him up in a hotel for a couple of days, and he comes and knocks it out.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then Matt was the one that helped me design. I had my concept. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and then Matt came in and put it all together for me. So I mean, you see the timber trusses, a lot of the same stuff that you'll see there. And
old school, classic Geo Green.
Yep.
Man, if you had one of those here in Cruces, I would go there after work and drink.
Put a bar in. Super Bowl party right there.
Yeah, perfect.
We've had a company party there that was a really good time. So yeah, there. I mean, yeah, you can see. I mean, even my fence design. It's nothing that you see that doesn't scream self-storage at all.
Right.
And I think that's why, or that's one of the reasons for sure that all of my have done so good is I've just been hitting repeat on doing it. I've been doing the same office now. I've got doing my 8th one, so really have just hit repeat on that very first one. So,
what other locations do you have?
Okay, so after Lovington, I came to Lubbock and built one, and then went to Amarillo, Texas, built number 3, and then went to Canyon, Texas for number 4, then Abilene to number 5. Hobbs number 6, Odessa, Texas number 7, and now back in Amarillo building my second one.
Holy shit, Ryan, you're building them faster than you're updating your damn website.
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't even.
Well, no, so Odessa's still in construction. So all of those locations are right there. There's 6 locations there. Odessa's still under construction right now, and then the newest one that I'm doing in the Amarillo.
And did you on these 2 here in Cruces? Did you consult or
guys,
did you?
But let's look at this.
So,
look at this. Look at this. Look at these reviews, guys. This is great.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Of course, yeah. Reviews are so important. That's people. Everybody there shopping on their phones, and they want to see what other people think about their experience that they had at that business. So I put
fucking Lovington. Come on, 4.68. Get the fuck out.
Hey, there's some
bunch of haters.
Hey, you know why, Kelly? No, there's 2 fake reviews on there. When I came to Lubbock, this is a pretty funny story. When I came to Lubbock, a big competitor here in Lubbock got onto Google and landed on the Lovington page on accident and left 2 negative reviews trying to draw business away from my new Lubbock site. and they landed on that Lovington page.
Damn.
I've sent go. So the website is tied to Google reviews. So I've sent Google a couple or several requests to get those. Those are fake. Take them down. And
Yeah.
I haven't gotten too far with that, as you can tell. So
No,
Okay.
Google's really bad about that. And
Can you reply to those reviews?
You can.
and you can, and I definitely got on there and I said this is a very fake review. This is a competitor of mine that's trying to drag the business down.
Damn. You should
Cutthroat.
you should do your next unit in the San Francisco Bay Area, and then you can Airbnb out every unit for like $200 a night.
That's not a terrible idea. Not a
Put
terrible
a mini fridge in there.
Yeah.
It's already cool enough.
So Kelly, you asked about, so I missed that part of I guess the road that I've been on. So when I built that first site, I didn't own any other companies as far as that were tied to the industry. And I hired the main guy that came in to build my Lovington site to erect the metal, started a metal erecting company with him, and knew that took a little while before it jumped into Lubbock, Amarillo Canyon, all of those, but just wanted to start a company so that I could just utilize to build my own site. So there was that little 2 years where I built a construction company and built self-storage for other people all over the country. I think we built in 7 different states, and I built, I think 25, 30-ish facilities for other people. Came in and didn't do like the dirt work, didn't do any, came in and actually erected the metal for a bunch of people all over the country, knowing that I was eventually going to just utilize that company to build my own. So that the 2 that I built in Las Cruces were for other people in Las Cruces. I was just subcontracted to come out and actually build the
Are you taking on any other customers like that right now, as far as if someone?
I haven't been able to, because I've been so busy building mine. I was looking before. I've built now, so Spare Feet is 428,000 square feet is the square footage of it right now. So that I've just been built. That's all from the ground up. I've built that off. So I haven't had time to build for anybody else, which is good. Yep. That's how I want it to be. So no, I haven't subbed out my construction. It was just Spare Feet Construction. I haven't subbed that company out in, I guess, about 3 years. It's been solid building that 427,000 square feet.
Wow.
So, and then I've also recently started tying it all together too, kind of like I did with the construction company. Just started a concrete company as well. So now I'm keeping the concrete in-house to where I don't have to go out and sub other people out for the concrete. I'm doing that as well. So
Jelly.
So
jelly.
So can you kind of, and I think this actually would benefit us a lot to hear this, and anybody who's listening, obviously, but can you kind of maybe walk us through why you would make I guess that kind of vertical integration move with your company as opposed to subbing? Like what factors make you think instead of paying a sub, I'm gonna vertically integrate this into your operation? Can you kind of explain why you think of doing that?
Yeah, immediately the first 2 that come to mind is control and other streams of income. Like, I mean, to me, that's what the wealthy have, is multiple streams of income. So I want it coming from all different angles. There's nothing I love more than so I have Spare Feet Development, who is the actual contractor of everything, which, is able to generate income from building these for myself. So that company gets to now write my construction company checks, my concrete company checks. So that's multiple streams of income. And that leads to the next is control. I have control over it all, to where I control when there's who's going to send me. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would, but I don't have to worry about bringing a metal erecting company in for 3 straight years to build just for me. Like, why would I pay a middleman that profit that I can make with that construction company? Why would I do that? And so the same thing with the concrete. I'm doing so much concrete. I mean, there's a square feet of concrete under every one of those 427,000 square feet, plus all the driveways. I mean, there's a lot of money there that has been dished out to pretty much a middleman. I'm the one that's developing it. I'm the one that's doing. Why would I just continue to to hand feed somebody else. It's kind of putting their hand in the cookie jar, you know? So that's,
so you've kind of, so I'm sorry, I'm just kind of recapping, make sure I understand it. So you've kind of identified almost kind of the worst to first, as far as like, okay, the erection part was a big piece of the cost of construction with the metal work and that kind of thing. And you're looking at the whole big picture saying, all right, we're covering the cost of doing all this metal framing. What's the next big ticket item? And you're saying it's the concrete. The concrete is a big chunk of this whole piece. So why am I paying an extra 15 to 30% on top of what it actually costs to do it to somebody else, when you could either have that as an equity position within your ownership, or you know, in the instance of building for somebody else, make money. You
absolutely nailed it. No question. You absolutely nailed it. Yeah. Why would I do that? You know, I mean, and out of the gate, it's the metal erecting is so specialized. And that's why I like we were talking about a minute ago, I sent them all over the country learning. You know, I got my tail kicked as far as making money goes that first year and a half, because I grew really fast. You know, I was getting handed all these jobs. But yet, so I grew too fast and didn't have the quality control that I really needed. But yet, I might have got my teeth kicked that first year and a half, but I learned so much that I then deployed what I learned onto my own sites. You know, then this well-oiled machine I released onto my own sites, you know, so that learning process was good. But I mean, yeah, the big ticket items like that, why would I, when there's that opportunity to create these other streams of income, to where, once again, I'm keeping it all in house, to where my development company is shooting out checks to my other companies, and I mean, and not taking advantage of anything. I mean, my concrete company is I'm paying them the same amount that I would pay any other concrete company. Metal erecting company, I get bids every single job, and then my company just matches those bids. So I'm able to do it without losing that control, but yet keeping it ethical, for sure.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, keeping a lot of people employed and making sure that you get it done the way you want to.
Yeah, and that goes back to that other part of it. There's multiple streams of income, but the other part of it's the control. Like I don't want to have to worry about if the metal erector I hire to build my sites is gonna bring their A game, or bring a good squad, or, you know, bring who they're sending. I want that control, to know that my guys are the best in the country. They truly are at building self-storage. So I don't have to worry about that. I know who's going to be there building my sites, because it's my company. So,
and your guys,
my guys.
We literally have been having that discussion about concrete ourselves. You know, as a custom home builder, it's not easy to sit there and say that there's numerous aspects that we can keep employed, you know,
and you don't want,
because it's. But I will tell you this much: of all the ones that we've sat there and freaking watched done, Matt had an idea, and there was a gentleman who was kind of asking. Concrete is, because I also will tell you this: I also know how hard it is to find a concrete guy, and we could literally keep him busy 24/7, and then just. But like you said, we would always know that when it's time for us to pour, we pour.
Good, yeah.
And someone else gets moved. I even tried with the guy we were working with, I even tried to incentivize it. I said, hey, you know, here's the price that you gave us. This is what we agreed upon. If you will just pour on the days that we want to pour, I will pay you 25 cents a square foot more. Just pour on the date. Like I go, we want to pour next Tuesday, and just pour next Tuesday. If you'll do that, 25 cents for just doing that. And I'm not saying like, I want to pour tomorrow. I'm not in, you know, I understand lead times, but even trying to incentivize it just, and then we hit a point in this, one of the last projects, and it just was like, no, we can't use you anymore. And Matt had a really good idea. I think he found something and is getting it going, and we are going to talk to him about doing all of our concrete work. But we were very was it with Bannister?
So I talked to that guy today, and I think that there's opportunities there for sure. Like I think that there's the chance that could work out into either having a really good relationship with a really good sub, or, you know, if that, what was interesting, and I think that this kind of plays 3-dimensionally here, is I think that the big pickup might be in a dirt works company, because this individual seems to think that that's their actual wheelhouse. They're excellent at concrete, and he says, if you think I'm good at this, I'm better at doing dirt work. But the issue with doing dirt work is, what do you need? You need a really expensive piece of equipment. Yeah, it's expensive to do it. So I want to run numbers and kind of figure out if it's better for us.
I thought it was the other guy from Sandoval that you were talking about.
This is the guy, same guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was talking about that. So, I mean, a lot of stuff.
Ray?
Yeah. Ray.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah.
Ray. That's okay. Ray's that guy.
Yeah. Ray's that guy.
See, it's totally different if he can do our dirt work, our site cleanup, and our concrete.
Right.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes on that, because I've been watching YouTube videos on concrete work. I can do it all for you.
Ownership.
Yeah.
Is that stadium? Did you do that stadium behind you, Nick?
Yeah, all the
a lot of concrete.
I'll jump in on the dirt work. I got some shovels and a wheelbarrow.
Hey,
Yeah.
Burke.
Nope. I ain't about
Burke,
that life.
What's your sort of ultimate goal with the spare feet storage unit? I mean, are you going to franchise it out, or what are you going to do?
I don't think so, Nick. I don't think, no. What the plan is with this first portfolio that's kind of getting close to packaging up almost, is just to sell it. I'm going to sell the majority of them as a package to a REIT. You know, they'll come in and pay the lowest cap rate.
So just Ryan, sorry for interrupting you. Just so everybody listening, a REIT is a real estate investment trust. So what that is typically, well, not typically, a lot of them are publicly traded big companies that that own vast amount of real estate. And it's a way for, you know, the average investor to participate in real estate as part of their portfolio, so on and so forth. But these are big companies that buy businesses like Ryan's creating. Just for anybody listening, I know you guys know, but just, you know, just to kind of.
Oh yeah, I knew for sure.
For sure. And we're thank you for that, Matt, because that's a good point. And the reason that we're going, because they don't want to do what I've done. They want to own the assets, but they don't want to go through the process of finding land, getting it zoned correctly, building it, leasing it up. They don't want to do that. They just want to own the cash flowing asset. So they'll pay the top dollar for it, because they have, like Matt said, I mean, they've got millions. So, I mean, they're the ones that can afford, I mean, a portfolio like mine, I'll probably exit at like a $65-70 million price tag. And they're the ones that can afford that. Like, I don't know too many other people that can come in and take down that kind, but the REITs can, because they've kind of compiled their money to come in and like I said, take down an asset that they don't want to go through the, not necessarily even the risky part of it, but just the grind out part of it. They just want to own what's sitting there kicking out the cash flow. So to answer your question, Nick, that I'm going to package them up, building them all out, and then I'm going through now and adding second phases on them. So I've just added a second phase to Lubbock, added a second phase in Hobbs, about to add second phases in Amarillo and Canyon. So I'm going in and going to build them all out to where all of them have second phases, and then fill those second phases up, and then package them together and go to the market with them and sell them. And then immediately probably just rinse and repeat. I mean, it's at that point I could probably not have to worry too much about what's coming in or what's going on. But at that point, it's, well, why not just do it again? So that's kind of I don't really necessarily, Nick, have an end goal, because I love what I do. Once I do cash out that first portfolio, it's, to me, what would I do? Go play golf every day or something? I really truly enjoy what I do and the process of it. Like, so everything that I talked about that the REITs don't like to do, that's what I love. I love going and finding a new market that studying the market to see if it's somewhere that I think could sustain a spare feet self-storage. going then at that point, finding the land, and then working with the city, getting the zoning in place, working with the city, getting the building permit in place, and then getting to deploy my companies onto it to build it for myself, and then getting to own it, manage it, operate it, fill it up, and all the process that goes with that. Like, I enjoy that. So there's even when I do hit the exit on this first batch that I've put together, I'll just do it again, just go right back in, probably a lot of the same markets, even because they're all going to be full when I sell them, and just go build another one in those same markets, or at least markets similar to those. One of the things that's really happening in self-storage that's really truly benefiting my portfolio is the cap rates are being compressed the most in these tertiary markets, because there's so much competition in like a Austin or a Dallas or Houston, where those have been compressed as far as they can go. So now the big money, like the REITs, are now looking at these outlying areas, these tertiary markets like Lubbock, Abilene, Amarillo, these populations of 150,000 people.
Right.
And they're coming in and they want to, once again, they don't want to build it and fill it up. They want to own it there, though, because they can still buy it at a pretty decent cap rate, and then
So Ryan, if you would, there's two things I want to point out here. Well, one I want to point out and one I want to ask you about. So what I think is interesting is about what's going on with real estate investment trusts is this concept of I'm going to shout out to Eric Weinstein, one of my favorites, the embedded growth. He calls it the embedded growth obligation, in which these companies, right, they have shareholders that they want to please. So their whole concept is growth. They need to look for the ways that they can grow. And so what you're saying is that there's markets that have been saturated with these types of businesses, and basically there's not a lot of juice left to squeeze in Austin, Texas, right? So now they're looking to, like you say, tertiary markets. There's things that are happening out there that are that they're saying, okay, this is a market that's ripe, that needs that needs our investment money. But that being the case, can you kind of explain to us and everybody kind of how cap rate works, how your mentality, of cap rate, because I know for like the builder owner, cap rate means a little bit of a different thing than it does to a bank or somebody financing it. So you kind of want to look at it through the window in two directions, so to speak.
Absolutely, no question. So cap rate is tied mainly to commercial real estate, because it's tied to what that real estate produces income wise. So it's a valuation tool that investors, lenders, appraisers, everybody uses to kind of evaluate a commercial asset, commercial real estate, based off of what that thing creates income wise. NOI, net operating income, is what is a driving factor that a cap rate computes against to kind of kick out then the valuation. So as far as how that's tied into myself and my businesses, cap rate, once again, it's all tied to NOI. So NOI, net operating income, how I'm constantly trying to drive my NOI up is by pressing revenue, pushing revenue as high as I can, and pushing expenses as low as I can, because that gives me the biggest NOI. And then I get to go in and use that cap rate, which is, that the cap rate in a market like Lubbock is 6%. So cap rate, it fluctuates based off of your market, what you're in, and then also it fluctuates off of the asset class that you're in. I mean, my sites are class A, so I get a lower cap rate than one that was built in 1980 that doesn't have a on-site management staff or anything like that. They get hit with a higher cap rate. So that you use that metric, the cap rate, to come in and then go against the NOI, you divide it by the cap rate, and then that kicks out your value. So as far as my business, I'm constantly driving that by driving revenue up, expenses down, and then that creates what's more valuation. So that's my value add. I mean, you hear that a lot in multifamily, is how can I come in and buy this apartment complex, add value to it, value add, because then it's worth a couple $1 million more after I do that value add by driving up revenue, driving down expenses. So that's kind of the way that I tie it into my business, is putting it in the right place, building the right kind of asset, driving revenue up and expenses down.
No,
You
that
got
makes a
so
lot of
lucky there, Burkett, that Matt
that?
didn't jump down your throat because you mentioned multifamily.
Oh yeah, no, so I didn't mention that though. I recently, so that I'm not, I just I bought an actual apartment complex in Hobbs. We closed on it last fall.
Not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, but yeah, so that I didn't get to
Congratulations, man.
earlier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nice place, and we're doing very well with that. So no, I have nothing against multifamily, and how I did
Neither
that.
do we.
What I learned from what I do with self storage, I went and utilized that and went and bought an apartment complex.
How many units are in the?
It's
in
a
the apartment complex?
36 townhomes. So I mean, they have garages, backyards. So they're not necessarily apartment complex. 36 townhomes all together.
How big are the backyards?
Probably 20 by 20. What is that? Is that how
So-
many?
So can you put a little portable storage unit in the backyard and charge them for that?
I don't want to do that because I own a storage facility right up the street.
Okay. Do they
Yeah,
get a
they-
discount if they rent at your storage unit? If they rent from you at the apartment complex?
Yes, as of
You
right
know-
now, absolutely.
If after you're done all this building, you could move into like little dog houses that are built like storage units, and has a little garage door that opens up for the dogs to go in and out, and just in your spare time. I know you got a lot of it.
I dig it.
Little 50
Well-
unit kennel.
Ryan, what's super amazing to me is kind of thinking about your origin story right into this business. Is you knew that you were going to be in the self storage at what age did you say? Like
7 years old.
7 years old. 7 years old. You saw that there was opportunities in real estate at 7 years old, and now not everybody has the opportunity to see that that early in life, or to maybe have that perspective. And I think what's super I didn't know that actually. So hearing you say that has really got my gears turning, in the sense that you've kind of been printed, like you have a very unique fucking brain, because I don't know a lot of 7-year-olds who will say, oh, I understood the concept of ownership.
Going and getting an envelope with cash in it.
With cash and
There's a bunch
cash
of
money.
people.
Cash moves everything around
Yeah.
me.
Can't build a time machine, Matt, and take you back to 7.
No, right.
Well,
Well, but what I'm going to point out. So I have a thesis with this. So like you
We
are
know.
very well. You are very fortunate in the sense that like you had this like map. You had a map on your imprinted on your brain on money, your understanding of ownership, your understanding that like if you have something that people want, they're going to pay you for it, right? If you're filling a need that people have, that people are going to pay you for it, right? And there's different ways of doing it. You can sell fake Rolexes in downtown New York, or that's a need, right? People want that, so you're filling a need or a hole in the market. There's all kinds of different holes in the market, but you identified one that you had kind of the experience of I can't even imagine what that kind of equates to, seeing it that young, which is bizarre. Like that's amazing. It really, really is amazing. But where I'm going with this is, if you were gonna recommend to somebody like that wanted to get involved in business, how would you try to map out their brain? Like, what would you tell somebody who said, you know what, Ryan, I'm going to make a bunch of fucking money. I want to make a bunch of fucking money. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of flipping burgers. I'm tired of my job, whatever. Like what step one, how do I be like you?
Acid trip.
I mean, honestly,
Smoke some weed.
I'll
Take
twist
some
it a little bit, because I think you honestly hit the nail on the head earlier. Like I think I was born with something that not everybody has. I truly do. Like I don't think, and that's not being disrespectful to anybody out there, but I just think that I have this driving force in me, and then just this determination that I don't see in everybody. I really, as far as setting my mind to doing something, and then just no matter what it takes. I know that's cliche to say, but then just doing it, and so I mean, to answer, I'm going to get to the answer of your question, but it's, I don't know if everybody can just grab a hold of, like you said earlier, a concept from 7 years old and be like, I'm going to create a multi-million dollar business off of that. I don't know if that's but as far as what anybody should do is, I think you kind of said it, is you got to make a plan, and you can't just jump in. You got to kind of have some sort of plan, but at the same time, you can't plan too much. You can't spend 5 years, because you've kind of just got to jump. You know, you got to have a target for sure, but you kind of just got to jump and know that you're going to get beat up on the way down, but eventually, I mean, a parachute's going to grab a hold of you, and you're really going to be able to soar from there. So
yeah,
so it's kind of you got to have a target, but yet at the same time, you can't over plan. So
not everyone wants to just jump out there on that island. You know,
they don't.
I spent 10 years in the engineering world, and then went and worked at GL Green for 5. I spent the first 15 years of my professional career in the employment of people, you know, and making good money for what I was engineer and then director of operations at GL Green. Someone literally complimented me on a estimate spreadsheet today, and the very first thing that we did was me and Ryan sat down and just built that entire spreadsheet, and we made it pretty badass. And someone was like, "Dude, this is pretty cool." And so it was just funny, but you know, it's not for everyone. You've got to. It's scary, you know.
That's where I was going with that earlier too. It's not for everyone. It's certainly not. So
you can't be risk averse. That's a fact. You can't be risk averse. I mean, and there is and maybe this is shifting the conversation a little bit, but I've even noticed that with like trading on stocks and shit. When, you know, you start chit chatting with people and they think you're out of your goddamn mind because you're willing to just put money out from their perspective, it's in the ether because they don't even want to understand it. They don't want to think about it. It's just kind of like, well, wait a second, you're going to take a risk on that. Like, cause it would be, you know, that money would be way better in your mattress. And you're going as a business owner, Ryan, you're going, no. I got a plan. I'm going to fucking take this money. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to move it there. And then this is going to happen and you're all going to see. And sometimes we lose, but the thing is I think I said it on one of the podcasts, is like Winston Churchill said, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, because we're gonna fuck up. I mean, that's how it always works. I mean, and the thing is to try to make them small, make the fuck up small, but don't let them keep you down. Keep going.
Move on immediately. And I did that with my construction company. Like I said, I got my ass kicked that first year in construction, but learned. Even my first self-storage site, I've now circled back around and bought that site from the original partner that I built that with. So I mean, you just kind of got to roll with the punches. But like you said, you cannot reflect on any loss for very long at all. Just let it go. I learned, and then keep blazing.
So I know that you love to gamble. Okay, we cannot sit around a sporting event and not gamble.
We watched the Super Bowl together, and that was the exchange of money between you two that whole time.
Oh yeah, on everything.
Like honestly, I remember that more than the fucking game. was like every play. You guys there would be a bill. I'm not going to say the denomination, but a bill would hit the table and then be like, all right, they score on this drive. You want it or you don't want it? And then it was like, I'm there going like, this is as entertaining as the fucking game. This is amazing. You guys are cracking me up.
So speaking of gambling, do you partake in the old stock market at all?
I have here recently, as a matter of fact, probably the past 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I've got a couple with my brother being in the marijuana industry. He's put me on to
not a great day for that industry today.
Overall, pretty good though.
But overall, for sure,
yeah. It'll bounce back. But I dumped a lot into it last night, going, dude, I got an idea. And today, down 20% with 2 of them. I was like, oh shit.
It'll come back though. It'll come back.
It'll come back.
Yeah, within the last, I bought quite a bit of crypto too. I got into what is Ethereum? Is it called Ethereum?
Ethereum, yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
I think 40 shares of that when it was at $700. So
Nice.
that's done really good. It's well
Yeah.
it over doubled, and I only
Yeah.
bought that, probably like I said a couple months ago. Then I got Bitcoin. I own 1.74 Bitcoins. So that's done pretty well too. And
No shit.
yeah. So I've
Nice.
I've got those. Those are my 2 cryptos right there. So it's been exciting. Because like you said, it reminds me so much of gambling. I mean, when I say I bought into that, this is money that I just had. I wanted to deploy it into something fun like that. So it's been so much fun to pay attention to it and kind of watch. It's been a crazy couple of month ride. Like I said, I think I'm just on all of those together up a couple 100%.
Yeah.
It's 100 and
Oh, for sure.
170%, 100 so on. It's done well.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's great. What
It was a
you touched on the
rough day.
REIT. You touched on the REIT earlier, Burkett. Any REIT investment that you would recommend?
Oh gosh, there's only a couple of them in self-storage, and they all perform about the same. So I mean, to buy into self-storage, and it's one of those that's not going to give you crazy big returns, but it's a super safe return because they're out there buying cash flowing assets. And self-storage is so, don't want to get back onto self-storage, but it's so granular that it's the lowest default asset class in commercial real estate year over year, because you're talking about a site like mine have 500 tenants in them, so there's nothing that's going to drop that occupancy once you get it up to 90-95% down to like 40%, like a center or something could potentially do. So
Like a what center, Burke? You broke up a little bit.
it's like a strip center, like
Oh,
a strip
right.
strip
Right.
center. You have four tenants, 10 tenants. So if you lose a couple of those, you go from 100% occupancy down, and sometimes if they're big anchor tenants, down to 50% over one move out. Whereas self-storage, I have 500-600 tenants. I'd have to lose a ton of people to drop down 50%. I'd have to lose 300 people. So to the point of it's such a safe asset class because you don't have these massive swings of occupancy. So that, I mean, that cash flow is steady.
Well, one of the things that and then this might be secondary or tertiary as far as like your line of thinking, but I kept thinking about it on the way home after we had talked, and your clientele is like what you called granular, right? Like you're talking about how the asset itself is granular, but your clientele is granular. Like it everybody needs a self-storage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're a doctor and your business is in the healthcare field, or you own a small business and you're a contractor who needs to store a couple of pieces of equipment that they have, or you're moving. Like your business isn't directly tied to any one industry where the failure of that industry would decimate, a lot of other businesses. So it got my gears turning. Okay, so what granular means.
Your gears have been turning a lot tonight.
Thanks.
Dude,
but
too much.
did I keep saying that?
Yes.
But like it truly does make you think that, like, well, wait a second. It's not just granular in the sense that there's a lot of units. It's that the marketability or the business in itself doesn't rely on one particular type of client, if that makes sense. So it's almost like it's granular in the sense that there's a shitload of units that you rent out, but it's also, as a subset of that,
Touches everybody.
it touches everybody. Yes.
Everybody.
It touches all kinds of walks of life.
Absolutely. And then to take that one step further, Matt, it's self-storage thrives on Nick's got it. Just a second, Nick, I'll answer. Self-storage thrives on adversity and change. So take COVID, for example. Like, self-storage has done fantastic during such a bad time for so many people because self-storage thrives on change and adversity. I mean, people are they're having to move. Unfortunately, people are losing jobs. Like it's change. There's change and adversity going on. And self-storage, of course, does very good during really good times, but it also does good in bad times. And that really protects it in a time like when there's a pandemic that hits and a lot of other businesses don't fare very well. Self-storage still does fantastic because it's granular. It's it's also granular in the fact that it does well no matter really what's going on, because it kind of just adapts to that.
Well, let's tell a story, like a fake story. If you lose your job and you got to move somewhere, you get kicked out of your place, or you can't make the mortgage payments or whatever, what do?
Sell your stuff.
Burn it.
Well, burn your shit
down.
But say in this case,
Eric throw everything in the front yard. And you tell her to come get her shit.
Let's just say in this particular instance that you're particularly attached to your shit. You put it in self-storage. And that's the change that Ryan's talking about. Is he's saying, hey man, even though you're going through a hard time, you want to move, you want to sell your place, you got to get out of there, you got to go and figure out what you're going to do. You're going to make a change in your life. Well, whether you're putting yourself in self-storage or putting your shit in self-storage where you're at or where you're going, like there's going to be that thing. And it really is interesting to hear you talk about that, because I think that it truly is almost on an island of that level of
touch me.
Yeah. And I can think about it. It's brilliant. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you've thought it through to that level. Yeah.
I've got a question on behalf of Nick. When you have someone who has a storage unit and they fall off the face of the earth, do you have to auction it off, or could, say, 4 friends of yours that you might know that are on a podcast just come and get it?
Is that why you were raising your hand this whole time, Nick?
B. We'll go with B.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
I've talked to Burkett about this before.
Yeah,
I know he has a company that manages like sort of units that are not paid on or sort of.
Is it from a liability standpoint, or what's it? Is it liability management on something like that, Burke?
As far as what, Kelly? As far as
if you had a storage unit and they didn't pay, why couldn't you just be like, could you just give the shit to whoever you wanted?
After you go through certain protocol, absolutely, it becomes mine at that point. But I mean, you do have to follow protocol. It's not like
it's like evicting someone from a house.
But that being said, like the tenant laws are so much more in favor of a self-storage owner in comparison to a rental property owner, like a house.
Because they're living there. Yeah.
Have you been contacted by Storage Wars?
No, I have not.
That'd be sort of fun.
But I mean, is
that Nick's nickname? Storage Wars?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a process with it, Kelly, for sure. But once you pass that process, that you advertise that you send them certified mail, it's so long, then it becomes
I during football season get one. We'll come over and the 4 of us will go watch a Texas Tech football game, and we will totally just shut up, E. You'll dude, get over it, boomer.
I'll get over it when you get over your bills, okay? That's not happening. So that's not happening with me.
I will go watch another NFL team play.
I'm just fucking around, Kelly. I'll go watch a Texas Tech game.
I see it in your eyes.
Plays here. That's what you need to do. Is
see it in his eyes.
The company that manages your units, if any of them are defaulted on, do they do all that process of doing the proper paperwork for you to acquire the stuff inside?
They do. And I mean, it's not necessarily proper paperwork. It's just protocol. You have to advertise it in the newspaper. You have to give them a certified letter that shows that you're going to sell it. And then it's a certain time frames. And then from there, but yes, for all of my Texas site, which is they're all third party managed, they handle that in-house. And then Jennifer handles it for our New Mexico side, because she still operates that. And so
I think I smell a Texas Tech football game.
Save one for us, and then we'll go down there, and then we'll have we'll record it.
Yeah.
And we'll have a live auction on bidding on shit
we'll do the podcast.
We'll do the podcast from in there. Yeah.
That'd be cool. We'll open it up, and then what we'll do
Eric,
is
on that
anything-
game, Eric, for that game, I'm gonna buy like $200 worth of fucking Texas Tech shit and wear it.
Of course you will. You're
I mean-
you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, you could do what you want. I'm just hoping I don't get killed. So I might borrow some of that Texas Tech stuff. And put
No,
and
but
wear
we
it.
we'll,
I mean,
we'll get it.
face, in your face, all
We'll
game
get it.
just
We'll
spinning
open it all up, and then we'll find if it's anything worth the shit. We'll find some deserving families that need some
For
stuff,
sure.
and we'll all donate whatever fake money we spend. We'll donate to a charity, and then we'll donate the stuff to a charity, and we'll make a fun deal out of it where we could actually have a hilarious time opening it up, and then also giving back a little. It could be
I love
fun.
it. I
That'd
love
be
it.
fun. I like it.
That's a game on. We'll-
Okay, speaking of sports, Burke, what's I mean, you're
Let's
in
talk the
Texas,
Super.
so at
Let's talk Super Bowl. We were all there. We all saw
Yeah.
it. Let's talk Super Bowl.
Is there anything to talk about the Super Bowl?
I think so. I think the Super Bowl
Only
is fantastic.
interesting thing I found out about the Super Bowl was that dude that may have bet on himself to streak.
I
Yep.
saw
Yeah,
that.
that was.
I
that was
saw
interesting.
that. That was.
Did you see
tell
that,
that
Bert?
story.
I didn't see that.
This
Tell that
dude,
story, Nick.
This dude, like the odds to for a streaker during the Super Bowl was like plus 750 or something. And so he bet like 10K on himself.
50.
He bet 50K on himself. And so one of his buddies ran on the field to distract the security, and then he streaked onto the field, and he ran around the field for quite a bit, and then he got arrested in the end zone. But he made like $350,000 or something on his bet.
That's the legend right now.
Did he get paid out? I mean, they didn't call.
I don't know.
That seems exactly
brilliant.
like the thing that Vegas would hold on it.
Yeah,
Like,
no. Oh, you didn't read the small print. Small
Yeah,
print here.
totally.
can't be you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brilliant game plan, but I don't know if he got paid out.
I want to see the follow-up story with that guy.
Yeah.
Um,
So as far as
you
the
know-
Super Bowl though, yeah, I don't know. Like we talked about earlier, I had much more fun just doing side bets with you and hanging out with these beautiful faces. I didn't really pay too much attention, other than whose side bet hit. So I didn't really. I was catching stories. the next day.
it wasn't a great Super Bowl.
No, it really wasn't.
I mean, Brady kind of just was like, hold my. And I know Mahomes was running for his life. Someone tossed a stat out there that he ran across the field back and forth 500 yards.
Yep. Wow.
He was on the run for 500 yards on some of those plays where he was trying to throw it away. I just don't, I'm a Bills fan, so I'm a homer. But I don't think Mahomes played very well at all. I think
the MVP of that game was Tampa Bay's defense.
For sure.
I don't know what they were on, what they had decided to do, but they broke down. They broke down Mahomes. It was
for sure.
It was insane.
question.
And seeing Kansas City play prior,
Buffalo.
it didn't look like this. Yeah, it didn't look like the same fucking team. Whatever formula that they were applying to that defense and executing, it was unreal. And it was super bizarre to be like, wait a second, am I watching Kansas City play football right now?
They beat the socks off of Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like Tampa Bay did against them, and it was pretty crazy. I placed a bet on Kansas. I bet on Kansas City, but I was happy. I was rooting for Tampa Bay, so I was trying to I was hedging my bet. I hedged it by putting 100 on Kansas City, but then rooting for Tampa Bay because of that fuck stick Nick Wright on Fox, who just hates Josh Allen, and that dude can eat all the fucking googly dick.
You're Buffalo through and through.
Man, I came back in at the wrong time. You're like that fuck stick, Nick. Oh.
Hey,
are they going to for Texas Tech's upcoming football season? Are they going to are fans allowed? What have you heard?
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, the tech schedule just came out today, but I didn't look into it. But I mean, I went to a couple of games this year. It was just super social distance, but they had fans this year.
Well,
capacity.
We keep talking about it.
It was
We keep talking
enjoyable.
about
I mean, yeah, we could, because it's kind of nice not to be packed in. We can get
Even better.
seats together and nobody.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll absolutely be football here this fall.
Let's find a weekend that you like.
Let's see if OU play. Do you know? I don't remember.
They Tech plays there on October 30th.
Okay.
So
yeah,
if we go and watch them play Oklahoma State, Eric can root against every team. It would just be fun. It would just be fun to come over, hang out, tailgate, do the same shit that we do. Go to the storage unit, open it up, get crunk, go to that club where those Texas Tech football players got in a fight, hang out, do the Texas Tech things that we did with the, and be like, God damn, how did these kids do this? And just have a grand old time.
It's that is locked and loaded. We're gonna do
what's that place called? The car sign.
Oh yeah.
Out there with all the gas station signs.
Oh, Cook's Garage. Yeah.
Cook's Garage.
Oh man.
I've become good friends with the owner of that place. So
no shit. Oh yeah, we got to go out there.
Yeah,
of course you did.
We'll do it to where, because he's been putting on some really good Texas country shows out there. So we'll go Texas country show, football game, weekend extravaganza. He'll give us
I just remember the Uber rides that night and just how happy the damn Uber guys were driving us around. Just like, oh my God, you guys are a riot.
You remember that poor dude who got lost in a field trying to pick us up?
Yes.
He told us, he's like, I was in a farm field and we couldn't find. I was like, what?
Nothing compares to the Russian guy in Phoenix, our private driver guy.
That guy made a lot of money off of us.
So much
Dude.
money.
I'm pretty sure we each spent $1,500 on that taxi, on Ukrainian taxis.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Let's go. November 13th, they play Iowa State.
All right, look up Cook. I don't know if Cook. We should plan. That sounds. I want to see if that coordinates with the Texas Country concert out there at Cook's. That'd be a good time.
I'm sure that's gonna be probably their marquee game as far as Big 12 conference going.
Against Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah. The Iowa State was decent last year. I mean, they played championship, so
we'll keep a close eye on it and get something on the schedule.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Cooks right now to see events.
I don't know if they're probably not shooting out until November yet.
West Texas Roundup. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. No, not yet.
Matt touched on fake Rolexes earlier. Back in the day, like 1999, I went to Juarez and went to the Mercado and got myself a fake Rolex.
Nice.
I got some Folkleys over there.
I got some Folkleys that broke on the bridge. On the bridge, walking back. God, how much? $20. 10. Nah, 20. 10. All right, cool. I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, those glasses. 15. I was like, no, 10. Can't do 10. See you in a little bit. Come back. Hey, $10. Yeah, give me those folks. And then they exploded on my head on the bridge. Just like, no bueno.
He was probably sabotaging him the whole time.
For sure.
Like, over $10. He's like, you fucking American. That's an hour's worth at McDonald's. You fuck.
You still have
no, sorry.
You
Back
have
in
the
your day,
Rolex.
it was 2 hours at McDonald's.
I think I have that Rolex somewhere in a box, like in the garage somewhere.
Nice.
Oh, you still have it?
Somewhere, yeah. It was like
Oh, that's awesome.
It looked all right. Like I'd wear it again if I could find it.
What's everybody drinking tonight?
Ooh, let's do this.
Ooh. Burke, you go first.
Absolutely. So here within the past year, so I've just been drinking. I don't drink too often, but when I do, it's Crown Reserve on some ice and a little bit of water. It's get some water in me. Kind of.
You have the bottle there?
It's in. I keep it in. I even go fancy with it.
Oh, the one you brought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
you did almost decanted in there. Yeah, I had a kid.
So
what do you like about the Crown? How much does it cost, and what do you like about it?
It's just not too expensive. I mean, you can get a handle of Crown Reserve for I think $100 right around it.
I like that you're rolling with the handle. I get a gallon of it.
That's what's cool about it. And it lasts me for. I don't drink very much anymore, but I just dump it in here, get a handle of it, and I mean a handle will last me months, you know. So
Yep.
As far as what I like about it, I don't know. It's kind of crisp. It doesn't have too much burn, too much bad aftertaste. I don't know. I'm just
Like the gasoline we gave you at the.
I will never drink anymore. That's probably still sitting on that coffee table right there. That was
$150 bottle.
It's what-
Just like woo.
131 proof. That stag is
Wild.
131
what it would do
proof.
is you could feel your mouth catch on fire, and then you could feel it. You know how you could feel it burn all the way down till it lands.
I was telling Eric about that. So we got it. What was it? Stag Junior was the bottle that we
Junior.
got. Stag
From-
Junior is 100 and oh yeah,
From Elephant Ranch.
from Elephant Ranch here in Las Cruces, and we were hanging out and having a great time drinking and whatnot in Doso, and Bert got there. Hey, we're gonna pour these drinks, and I got just a like 2 fingers on the bottom of the glass hanging out, and man, I'm not joking. Like I got halfway through with that, and I was like, man, I'm fucking ripped. This is fucking crazy. Like and I didn't really know. I was like, I'm drunk as shit right now. What the fuck? Like I felt fine before. And I was talking to E about it the other day, and he was like, dude, it's 131 proof. Like that was the equivalent of like 8 drinks. By the time you do the math, like, and you had an inch and a half of that.
It was rowdy.
Oh man,
rowdy.
I was sitting in my chair just like, what is this? Is my mind?
The only
being
way that I recommend leading into it is 14 White Claws. And you'll just be like, I don't think this is bad at all.
14 that we know of.
The 14
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the White Claw story? Can we talk about the 14 White Claw story?
Hey, you guys were there too. You tell me.
So
I took a picture of that. There was
you
a
did you really? Oh, pull that
Yeah,
up.
pull that
I've
picture
enabled
up,
screen
yeah.
sharing.
So, probably
So
on his phone.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So the
Just hold it
local.
up.
So the person that Burt Kresher wishes they could be is in this podcast, and his name is Kelly Fort. So Burt Kresher, eat your heart out. You're a schoolboy bitch compared to what my man can do. But Kelly, no, you're on an you
Bert goes shot for shot on a train with Russians.
Nah,
no
that
train.
was what that was in his early 20s. I think.
Oh,
if you guys
okay.
were gonna
Fair
go
enough.
toe to toe right now. Bert's in deep shit.
If we
And
go
we've
into
met
a
Bert, and
claw,
he's in deep
a claw off, as I say, a claw off,
Claw to claw.
a claw off.
A cloth, yeah. So, Kel, this past weekend was fucking crazy. I got there and everybody was having fun. We're all chilling. It's great. And I'm just watching these fucking White Claws accumulate on this table, and I wasn't thinking too much of it. And I realized that there was just this collection that Kelly was just racking up. And we're having fun. We're having great conversations, great people. One for the books. Like this weekend was one for the books. And we had a fantastic time. And this is Kelly's.
There's my stag.
Yeah, there's the stag. There's the stag.
Stag
Or
right here. I
the
didn't-
yeah, Stag Junior. Yep. And there's 10, 12,
14.
there's 14 White Claws.
14.
14 right there, and those are just the ones that landed in that little spot.
Yeah.
Because
we don't-
allegedly, there was like 4 others that people had cleared up. I think the tally was close to 20.
Yeah, there's always stragglers hiding out somewhere.
Yep.
At least I stayed in one place, and I didn't get all walking around.
No, absolutely. And you know,
didn't.
you did the right.
And guess
thing.
what I did the next day?
Lose
Well-
your keys.
Did lose my keys.
You didn't lose your keys. That was pretty amazing.
I misplaced them for a period of time, and
You
then
did.
found them.
Yeah, you had fun.
Yeah.
That's Kelly right there.
So then Kelly drives all the way back to Las Cruces to play 18 holes of golf.
3 hour,
can't
2.5 hour drive or
believe-
whatever.
I cannot
After all of
believe-
that,
2 hours max to the golf course.
yeah.
Show up
Why did you play golf?
because I double booked on accident, and then Colton Brown, the one and only, tells my partner, he goes, I told you he wouldn't fucking show up. And I was like, oh, I'm going. And then I get to the golf tournament. And I told Jess, I was like, hey, don't worry. We're teeing off early. There's no, they don't sell beer on the golf course, so we can't do it. Well, they did have spots set up. And then I just also bought a ton. I probably drank at the golf tournament another 10 to 12 claws. I haven't heard back from Drew, but if someone says they beat me in the long drive contest, I'll go out there tomorrow and let's just be like, dude, let's hit 3 golf balls and let's see. Yeah. But I didn't play great, but we had fun. And then I probably drank I didn't take any shots, man. Here's the key. I didn't that night with 14 claws. I didn't take any. The only shot thing that I took was the stag.
The stag, yeah.
The stag. And I just drank it on its own, and I didn't chuck, if I just drink claws, I didn't drink anything. I didn't drink any beer. I didn't go with a Crown and Coke. I didn't go with the Moscow. I didn't mix anything up. I had one thing, White Claws, and all of them. I had all of the claws. And if I do that, I'm really not in that bad of shape. But if it's when I start taking shots, man, if I take a shot, the fucking wheels come off. And yeah, that's not good. But at the golf course, once again, someone bought me a shot, and then I just fucking threw it in the golf cart and drove all the way to the end of the course, and then finished, and then just kept drinking claws. Most out there, it's mostly Bud Claws, which is acceptable in most countries.
That'd be hilarious if they just changed it. Get the new Bud Claw.
Dude, if it's a seltzer, it's a claw. Dude, you got
the Coors Claw,
Bud Claws, the Bond Claws. Dude, it doesn't. Corona Claw. It's all claws. It's all claws.
Oh.
But I did play, and I did. One of the reasons I felt okay coming back is that once again I had another 12 claws playing golf, and made it back. Such a fun time.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking tonight, Kel?
I went off. Man, it almost sounds race off the reservation. But I am drinking Bacardi.
It is particularly racist when you're off the reservation and you got drunk.
Firewater's involved.
You're drinking some rum?
I'm drinking the reserve. All of a sudden, I've got a cough that I can't get rid of.
I haven't had rum in so long.
So this
Are you drinking rum straight?
Yeah. Oh, but see, this is the deal. This is an 8-year-old rum. It's the Bacardi Reserve Gold. So the first time I got this, do you guys remember when I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago? So when I was in Puerto Rico, I went and visited the handyman of all times, Danny Kirkpatrick, Big Slim, and stayed with him at his place in Puerto Rico. And we went to the Bacardi distillery. FYI, hands down, worst tour in the history of fucking tours. It's so bad. And it's the most beautiful Art Deco. Man, if you pull up and you just feel like, dude, this is going to be awesome. It's beautiful. It feels like the architecture's out of that late 50s style deco. It's gorgeous. You sit down under this unbelievable cover.
Rona.
And they serve you, when you pull up, they serve you a drink. And I don't know why I can't get rid of this cough.
Because you're dying of the Rona.
This rum, I got rum Rona. But you get out there and they make you a drink for free. You sign up for the tour and you get a free drink. And then they get you on like this cart thing. And I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to go do some cool shit. And they drive you over here, and then they get you out and they take you into this room, and you're like, oh, this is where it begins. And then there's just a TV, and they turn the TV on, and the TV does the tour. And you're like, do we get to go anywhere? And they're like, no, you don't get to go anywhere. And then from there, they leave and they go to this other room and they're like, this is where all of it happens. And this is where all of the distillery. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be super cool. And when you go into the room, it's just a fucking poster of all the things that happen. And you don't even get to look at the shit. And they're like, all right, now we got to go over here. And we go to this room and you make 2 drinks. You make a fucking traditional, what's the?
Cuba Libre.
No, a traditional daiquiri. You make a traditional daiquiri, you make a Cuba Libre, and you make a mojito. You make those 3 drinks, and you get to drink them while you're in there, and the tour's over. It's the worst fucking tour ever. It's so stupid. You go in and you watch a fucking TV, and then you go into another room and you think you're gonna be in the control. You think you're gonna be near like all the vats, or I don't know what happens with rum if it's in a tub.
You're like, does Captain Morgan live here? And they're like, no, man, we shot him dead years ago.
The fucking video, we were on the tour at the plant in Puerto Rico, and the video goes, in 1955, Bacardi founded its rum places in Cuba, started in Cuba. And then when the Communist Party started to take over, they were like, "No, we gotta get the fuck out of here." The video goes, and then we uprooted and moved to the Caribbean. And I'm like, we're not even. Wait, where did you go? They don't even talk about going to Puerto Rico. It's like someone borrowed a video and was like, "Hey man, can we use your video for our tour?" It's the worst. But when I got through, one of the things that I liked, one of the things I thought was cool is this is barrel aged 8 years. And I mean, it's definitely got like very rum notes to it, but I can make an old fashioned with this that you guys would just adore. It's so fucking good. But I thought tonight, we're doing something a little different
about it.
Nice.
It's a little smoky. I feel like you get a lot of the char from the barrel. But it's still just got that sweet sugarcane rum kind of thing to it. It's not a super, it's not the gasoline that we gave Burke, and it's definitely not a bourbon. But I will tell you this much: it's a fun one to just have on the shelf when you're just like, I just want to do something a little, I just want to.
How much is that one, Kel? How much is that one?
In the cool thing is in Puerto Rico, it's like $28. And then you just bring it back. I think this one was $40.
That's not crazy.
No, but this one was bottled in 2012, and it's good. I'll bring it over so you guys can try it next time we're together.
Sounds good.
Because I know you'll like it. I don't know if Matt will like it. I mean, he'll drink the whole bottle, but I don't know if he'll like it. And then we'll just see Nick whenever we see him. So I'll bring it over. Hey, Nick, I forgot to tell you some baby clothes got delivered.
Yeah, no, you told me. We talked on the phone the other day.
Are you sure?
I don't want to
Nick,
spill,
what are you
spill the
drinking?
beans. I don't want to spill the beans, but Nick helped me acquire one of my favorite childhood toys that I'm gonna display on the next podcast.
Oh yeah, it'll be here next week.
Yeah. I don't want to. That's it. But I'm gonna display it on the next podcast, and I'm gonna.
Nick,
probably,
what are you drinking?
Oh, well, this segment's sponsored by Shitty Bacardi Tours. Woo! Now I'm drinking a Marble Claw.
Nice.
So Marble Claws are not local, but Albuquerque Brewery.
Yeah.
They have 3 locations in Albuquerque.
Nice.
It's a hard seltzer, raspberry key lime. It's delicious.
I like
Love it.
seltzers. Did you see the photo?
The seltzer photo?
Yeah, I like seltzers. Yeah. I'm like that kid that likes turtles. I like seltzers.
I don't know if you heard. I like seltzers.
I don't know if you saw, but I kind of like seltzers.
Yeah, so I was doing this. I'll get back on the local brewery tour next week and do some sort of a growler from probably Spotted Dog.
Nice.
But
Very cool.
it was Albuquerque this week.
E?
I am drinking some Early Times bottle and bonded bourbon. It's only $25, and my palate is not sophisticated, So I just like bourbon, and that's going to be my review from them from now on. I just like bourbon because I taste no sweet, no sour, no caramel, no nothing, except there was one bottle of Dickel that I have that tastes like butter, which is really weird. And that's the only thing that I'm going to say about bourbon. Yeah, I like it, and I like to drink it, and it's
I
good.
totally thought when you showed me that bottle that was the Dickel. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
is that the one? Because it's the same color, like the label.
Oh, no. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
No.
I
Yes,
messed.
yes, late.
I
went
messed
to the
up
fact
because
checkers.
I messed up. I was talking about a different Dickel. So this Dickel right here
Oh,
tastes like
Barrel Select.
butter. It tastes like there's someone
I don't
got
know
it.
if I like that. I don't know if I like that at all.
Oh, I think you've had it at Matt's house, so you probably did like it. But that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Nice.
Nick, see the rings
I like
Pow.
those.
from
Like
China.
those a lot.
Burke. Nick got me 2 Buffalo Bills, AFC, Jim Kelly
Jeez.
rings.
Hey, those are cool.
I know, right?
Matt, what are you
Those are
drinking?
real. Those are real diamonds.
Those are real. My mom said they were real, and she loved them.
Let's have her
Matt.
appraise them.
Evan Williams. Nice.
Evan Williams, bottle and bond, bourbon. A lot of fun. Right there with Eric, I like bourbon. So it's good. I think I was telling Kelly this story about a party. We were hanging out watching fights and shit, and somebody was giving me a hard time for drinking Evan Williams, and I was like, dude, it's awesome. Like, I don't know what it's great. It's good bourbon. It's bottled and bond, 100 proof. Taste. It's got that kind of kick you in the face a little bit with the bite, but it's a good bourbon, and that fucking bottle is $23.99. Like, it's amazing. And I mean, Evan Williams is super underrated. I'm gonna be the Evan Williams rep because
I told you I love that 1778 or whatever it was I got.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean, that's
$17.
phenomenal. And that's how much was that?
$17.
This is 20 some bucks, and it's really good, man. Like, it's not amazing like some of the best shit that I've had, but for the price, it has a great little taste. It's fantastic for the price. If you want to just have some really good bourbon for the price, the bottle and bond is worth the extra $2 a bottle or whatever it is over the regular Evan Williams. It tastes like a high-end bourbon. It tastes, let me put it this way. It tastes like a lot of $40 to $60 bottles I've had.
Yeah.
And for $23. The one that I would compare it to, which is gonna, I feel like I'm gonna piss some people off if they're really into bourbon, but the bottled in bond Old Forester is not that much better, and it's 3 times the price.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
It'd be fun to do a blind taste test with a group and just be like, which one, and just say, which one did you like better?
Yeah.
Well,
and do the bottled in bond Old Forester versus the bottled in bond Evan Williams.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun. I think
Good
instead
idea.
of going into the beats and the babes portion that we normally do, I've got an idea. I'm going to ask you guys to pivot because I think there's still a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's talk about vacations with a B, vacations that we just went on. And I have to admit that, and that's my go-to, Burke. That's actually when anyone watches the podcast, you have to take a shot when I say I have to admit. Today, Matt's it got my
gears turning. Yeah.
Gears turning. And
Yeah.
for me, every podcast, 17 times I will say I have to admit, and you have to take a shot. It's a new drinking game. I came up with it myself. But I would like to point out how fun that was. So much fun. Like, Nick, we barely even missed you, dude. Like, it was so good. Like, we had too much fun. There was a hot tub and you could call it a pool table. It was more like a wobbly desk. There was one pool. You should see the review I left on Airbnb for that place. I was like, not trying to be a dick, but I was like, dude,
Made some pretty dick comments.
I just said that I was just honest.
Just
I was
told the
like,
truth.
man, this is what I said. It's amazing. The place is amazing. We had a blast. Loved that there were so many bathrooms for every bedroom. And the hot tub was a true game changer. If you're going to stay here, you better bring every single fucking thing that you might ever need because it's not here in the house. And if you think the pool table works, you need to fucking check your head.
I think they just had like a collection of soap from all the hotels that they stayed at before and just left that in the bathroom.
They had gone on one vacation. They're like, take all the fucking soap.
I'm like, oh
And
wait, you guys had soap?
Dude,
I brought my own. I used my own soap.
the funny part is so right before I went to bed, I got in there and it had been a day. It just been a day of just fucking debauchery, and I totally blew up the toilet in the bathroom. And then in the middle of the night, I'm talking 3 o'clock in the morning, Jess goes in there and uses the bathroom. And then she comes and gets me and she's like, hey, I think I stopped up the toilet. And I was like, sweetheart, you didn't. I probably did.
Yep.
And I said, let me get that plunger and let me slay that dragon. And I had to get in there and just straight donkey punch a toilet. And it was bad news, man.
I did donkey punch a toilet.
It was rough, dude. Man, that was so much fun. I got in the hot tub and my lights went out. Dude, I don't remember getting out of the hot tub.
Hot tubs will do that.
Yeah.
Right? That's you talk about taking shots. Take
Yeah.
shots or just drink normal and get in a hot tub and then be night. Kevin Hart.
I had to look up like what a chlorine rash was because I was worried that like because I definitely had that. Like I was itchy. I was like itchy, like, oh man, I'm itchy. What the fuck?
Yeah, that happens after 4 hours.
Well, hey, you know what? You're being charitable
nap.
with your 4 hours. Try
in the hot tub. That
Yeah.
might happen.
try 16, like what is it like when you live in a hot tub? It's fun.
Oh,
Life's good.
DJ showed up. Lawrence showed up. Lawrence barely even tried to fight anyone. It was awesome.
The way good crew. We did miss you though, Nick. I mentioned several times. I wish Nick was here. Nick would have. I mentioned that Nick needs to be here to kind of complete this. Kelly.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know if
Not at
Kelly
all.
agreed with but I did say that.
I appreciate that, Burke.
Yeah,
He
it would
said
be
it.
nice
He
to
said
have.
it a bunch.
It would have been nice to have Nick there, and he's texting his girlfriend the whole time while the rest of us don't have phones. And he doesn't tell anybody that there's service,
He doesn't.
so we're not all in trouble like we were when we got back.
No.
It's like we robbed a bank and we all had the same story. And Nick was like, "Those motherfuckers robbed a bank, dude."
Everybody had service if you wanted to pay $5 a minute.
We get back from that cruise. Hey,
Hi.
what are you doing? Nick fucking had service. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Why didn't you call me? Nick was calling.
I didn't call
Got him.
anybody.
You did the
You
entire
were
trip.
texting. You were
text.
calling. You were doing all that. Nope. Didn't tell anybody.
Funny. Oh man, that cruise. Do you think? Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, and the 10 being the best, and then 1 being how much Justin likes cruises. how like what's your desire to ever go on another cruise again? Eric.
It's low, like 3.
Okay. Burke.
10, no question. I love
Okay. Same. Nick.
I every cruise I've been on 2, I think, with you guys.
Yeah.
And
I'd like to
loved
be
it.
on one where
I
they
loved it.
they stop a little bit longer at places. I think.
Okay, yeah. You can't judge that. Like you can't judge cruises based on that one. Matt,
That's
Matt,
the
what
only
about
one
you?
I've been on. So
I've never been on a cruise.
No, I know that was the funny part of the question for you. Is like, what do you? I mean, but I know Matt would go. Matt would have a blast.
Totally.
I don't know. I'll do anything. I've never
like
been
the
on
one-
one though.
The one that we went on with Burke, Jen was talking to. Jen was like, "Do you remember when you were doing the beached whale in the pool that was being drained?" And she was like, "That was the funniest thing ever." And then you and Corey took that photo,
Yeah.
glamour shots photo. Oh my god!
I still have I have a mug.
You,
I'll go grab it.
Glamour shot photo on it.
Yeah.
You have a glamour
grab
shot
it.
photo on a mug, Nick?
oh, dude, you wait
That's
till you see the photo.
amazing.
Wait till
I'll
you
go
see
grab
the
it.
photo.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Go get it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Jamaica Grand Cayman Cozumel one is just the cruise we went on from like the only thing that made our cruise fun was us. That was it. Everything else about it, including the tiger shrimp, fucking sucked. But us being there, but when you go to cool places, like remember when we were all at fucking walking up to Burke when we were walking to Jimmy Buffett's place and that Jeep drove by with like the fucking machine gun on the back of it and we're like
Sketchy.
we're like, man,
You guys,
and
you
what's
guys,
hilarious
you guys
is
saw
that
it.
guy, they didn't even look military. They
What-
weren't
what-
even with
what-
the police.
Wait. What country were you in when you saw a fucking-
Jamaica.
a technical? That's called a technical. Like that's like
Yes,
when you listen to people
Jamaica.
talking, like, when they have like helicopter conversations with each other, like, hey, we're gonna fucking send a hellfire missile, literally called a hellfire missile. They're like, that's a technical. Take it out with
Jamaica, man.
I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh, yeah.
can you see it?
Yep.
Kind of
It-
disappears.
We had these 70s leisure suits on.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Can't really see it, but
It's so good.
sort of funky. Like
It's-
we were,
that's hilarious.
I think everybody was asleep and we were just wandering around the boat. And this dude was like in the glamour photo booth. And Corey and I are like, hey, you think he can shoot a couple of shots of us? And then he started putting us in these different poses.
That's amazing.
Hey,
I would love to go on another cruise. You know, the one that actually I think would be the most fun for us at this point in time is a big Alaskan one.
Hey,
Oh man, yeah, I'd be into that for sure.
That would be so that one. I went on that with Sarah McCloskey, and that was just out of this world, like
would
out of
love
this world
to do
cool.
that. I don't want to do the same little track of Caribbean.
No.
I would love to go on. That'd be cool. That'd be way.
Yeah, we fly up to Vancouver and leave from there, and then you could do like it's a 7 to 9 day and make a couple of stops, and then like I think one of them super long, so you can go like hike a goddamn glacier or some shit.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and Alaska, I've been on one, and I totally, for us, like I just think, and here's the thing. Once again, everyone thinks that you've got to be in like this Cozumel, Cancun fucking party vibe to fucking party, and you do not, man. You just got to be with the right people in the right place, and that's a boat, and we're fine. And Princess Cruises is who we took. That's who we'd go on again. I'll investigate.
Yeah.
I'm on this. I would love, this would be like one of the coolest things.
So, kind of shifting gears just a little bit, and I think I was taking a leak when you guys were talking about it, but stock market.
we already talked about stock market.
You guys
We're
we're already done. Are we off?
In and out. Yep.
In and out. It was short.
Yeah. No, we're it's vacation, man. Vacation.
Vacation. Okay.
It's the last B. It's a new B. But man, I had a blast in Ruidoso.
Oh, super fun.
That's a fantastic idea.
What?
And it was just I love when you bring kind of a random group of people together and everybody really does a good job of getting along. Like everyone could just like partner up with whoever and just sit around and BS. I mean, it's good.
You know who I'm really excited about to have like in the group and just hang out and stuff is Kevin and his chick and that crew. Like that was fucking cool. It was cool.
Kevin's the project manager guy.
The what?
What's the project manager's guy's name?
Mark.
Oh, that's Mark. Yeah, no, Mark's dope. Yeah, we love Mark. I knew you, Ryan. I knew you'd love Mark because we love Mark so much.
Mhm. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's so
cut from
cool.
the same cloth as us for sure.
Yeah, man. He's a great guy.
He came over to pick up that sink that I got here for the Connors, and it was out front. And like he was like, "Oh, I heard you on the podcast, and I just didn't want to bother you, so me and Lindsay grabbed the 6,000-pound sink and loaded it up." And I was like, "God damn it! Like, I totally wanted you to come in here and poke your head, but he's a modest man until it comes to taking photos on my goddamn phone."
That was funny. I didn't realize he did that. Tell everybody what he did.
I got on my phone at trivia yesterday. We play trivia on Wednesdays at Broken Spoke. We're not off to the best start this year. It reminds me a lot of the Golden State Warriors when they used to be really good, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, you're gonna get a lottery pick. There's a group of fucking kids that just fucking beat our ass every time.
Yeah, they're college kids. They're wrecking
For
shop.
sure, they're college kids, and they seem like good kids. And I'm gonna hate the fact that we have to fight them eventually. But but the simple fact of the matter is, you can't just come in on our turf and drink water and have a sneaky snack and leave trivia
Right
You need
after
to be
it's
like an
done.
adult. I'm talking have 3 IPAs, switch to some Blantons like a grown up, man. Come on, do this. But we're sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I got to grab a photo to show someone something. And I open my phone up and there's 90 photos that Mark and DJ took on my damn phone of the two of them doing dumb shit.
Embracing each other.
It was glorious. It was glorious. It was one of those ones where you're like, man, this ain't half bad. Well, hey, man, Burke, it's got to be damn near 11 o'clock over there, so we're not going to hold you up anymore, man. But thank you.
Yeah, I got to get to the daughter. No, thank you.
Yeah, we saw her photo popped up a little earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, when I shared the screen with you.
Yep. Oh, Tim, she's there.
Yeah.
And then your grown man son showed up in Dosa.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
He's a great kid, man. You should be super
How is he not
proud.
I could not be more proud of.
Yeah.
How is he not an NFL defensive end? That dude's a fucking ox. I know. I had a super fun conversation with him about him, guiding and how excited he is. And I couldn't tell you how excited I am that he's not trying to do something that he's not interested in to try to make someone else happy. He's doing something that he's extremely interested in because it makes him happy. And that's
so many people
that
don't go down that path. You're exactly right.
And he's just a nice person, man.
Oh, yeah,
Above all else, he's just a good person. He just seems like a really good person. And I think I mentioned that to you and Jen while we were watching the game, but like it was just such a trip to think about. Like, I mean, that's your son, man, and he's fantastic. He's just a great guy. And that I mean, all things business wise, all things whatever, that's a bigger testament to who you are as a person and the man that you are. Ryan is like he's amazing. So you should be really proud.
Could not agree more, and I couldn't be more proud.
Chippy chip off the old blocky block, as they say.
That's what's up for sure.
Hey, thanks.
Well, gentlemen,
Thanks for being on. Definitely have you on again.
Oh yeah, I'll make a return for sure.
Yeah. And hey, Burke, whenever you want to hop on this podcast, you have an open invitation, man. For real.
I appreciate that. And I'll always wear that badge of the first ever guest proudly.
Yep.
AFC champions.
Awesome, man. Love you, man.
We'll let you sign off, and then we'll sign off everything. Absolute pleasure, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. You bet.
Nah, Burke.
Later, pal. Well, our first guest, man. What was that about? That was the best podcast we've ever done.
That's why it had to be him.
Yeah, the best podcast we've ever done.
It's definitely better than the last one.
We
that
are
lasted 4 hours.
This one was also 5 hours, but
I have it as an hour and 54 minutes.
Yeah,
that's about right.
In my head, that's just what I made that number.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's sign
It
off.
was about an hour and 50.
Let's just go ahead and sign off. So a quick question. Did we agree to do it alphabetically from now on?
I don't know.
I think we did last time. I think we did.
because then we know let's just do it alphabetically. So it's E, me, Matt, Nick, alphabetically. So I will always be after E will go first forever. Then me, then you. I keep pointing because I feel like you guys can see what I'm doing, and then it's Nick.
But Nick,
You're fucking
Nick is over here for me.
Nick's right down here, dude. All right. Good time. That was a fun one. I liked it.
That was good.
It got
That
my
was
gears turning, dude. I'm not gonna.
Hey, Matt, why don't you wear some Depends so you don't miss the discussion?
Ooh. I like that sign off.
Wendy's burn. Wendy's burn.
That's what the Wendy's account should have done.
Just made fun of us.
You saying that because I had to take a leak that I'm
Yeah, you missed the discussion on the stocks.
oh.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a massive pee. It was crazy.
Dude, it was like this big. How big is a pea? All right, E, lead the way.
I don't know what we're doing.
Signing off, man, and then
We're leaving.
I thought we
signing
already
off.
left. Oh,
No, we say our. You know what it is.
We stay on, but we sign off.
hey, it's
Yeah.
E. Thanks for joining in.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Nick. Please like, subscribe. We'll see y'all next week.
Damn
Lot of-
straight.
A lot of fun, guys. And just to tag on to that,
All right, no more recording.
it's still recording. What a fucking trip today was. And I just want to point out that if you weren't paying attention, you should have been, because we all got an insight into one of the fucking coolest.
We
Baddest
signed
ass.
off, Matt.
No, dude, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me
You
what to
should
do.
have said this before we signed off. I
I got-
don't feel like you understand what a sign off is.
It doesn't matter. I control the ones and twos. So
The DJ,
recording.
no one loves the music more than the fucking DJ.
you guys could all
100%.
sign off,
DJ
and I could keep recording. I could
DJ request over here.
Nope.
DJ
it won't.
DJ
It will no
request.
longer. If all four of us aren't on, it's not the BAB-Podcast.
I like how you guys bitch and you keep me going. We're still on.
Well,
I know.
hit-
I mean,
hit
like you
fucking
said,
stop.
You have the fucking button. You're like Trump with the fucking briefcase, man. None of
Yeah,
us can
exactly.
do-
It's like, and another thing. No, but long of the story short is this podcast is going to go down in the books as one of the greatest of
for sure. We
like
agree.
I
thought we
if
said that already.
if this shit actually turns into anything, like what we covered today could literally change somebody's life if they wanted to make it change their life. And that's all I wanted to say, is that today, if you paid attention, like what
if
you
you would have frozen right there, that'd have been the greatest thing.
if you paid attention today and you wanted to change your life, some of the things that were said today, some of the knowledge that was shared, some of the ideas that were shared are going to point you in the right direction. And that's what this is all about. It's all about just getting better. And I love that that's what we're doing. So good night, everyone.
We're going to have a televangelist on next week.